What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is gonna be your review of T.I. and Tiny Family Friends and Family Hustle. Lord have mercy, that's a mouthful. Season 1, episode 5. So we start this episode off. We see Reginae and Toya. They're talking, and Reginae's letting her know that she got a part in a TV pilot, which is great. Because remember, she dropped out of college, and her mom was like, "Hey, I didn't know which way that thing was going." But she looked like she's taking the acting seriously. She's actually even gotten a job, which tells me that, excuse me, this is something that was in the works long before she told her mom about it. But it seems like she don't be telling her mama a lot of stuff, because this whole scene was about where Reginae was, and then the boyfriend situation, and she's talking about, y'all all booed up on social media, and you doing this on social media and doing that on social media, and she hasn't even met this dude yet. And I don't understand it. Like y'all all right there in Atlanta together. How has your mom not met your boyfriend that you all over social media with? Matter of fact, I think he even met Wayne. I think I saw pictures and video of them together. So how in the world have you not let him meet your mom? Like, that's just me. Maybe it's me. But before my mama see me booed up all over, my mama ain't on social media. But knowing that if my mother was, and she knew I was on social media, there's nowhere in the world that I would be with this man all over the place with this man, traveling with him, going out of the country with him. Remember, they did a whole vacation down in the Caribbean and stuff. I wouldn't do all of that without my mom meeting him. My mother don't have to approve of our relationship, but I would at least want her to meet him. And she was just saying how nervous she is for her mom to meet him, and and all this other stuff. And so we found out they're doing a book drive, a back to school drive, which I remember seeing that on social media. And Reginae always did a back to school drive. That wasn't something new, but they decided to combine their two events and make one big event. And when she was telling her mom, well, that the book drive was his, she was like, "No, that's not. Like, no, you've been doing this." She said, "Well, it was his idea to make it a field day." Like, she was like, "Dang, mama, let me finish my sentence. I'm saying it was his idea to make it a field day." You know what I mean? And I think that Toya is so intent on giving this guy a hard time, which is what a mom would do. She feels like he's a bad influence. May not be a bad guy, but a bad influence. She's worried about him maybe influencing her daughter to make some decisions that she's not happy with or crazy about. She's worried about the fact that he's older and he has children. Like, there's some legitimate concerns that she has about him, which is probably why she ain't brought him around. But at the end of the day, like I said, I just don't understand why you would have a man in your mama face that you won't have around your mama. Like, I mean, all on social media. But that's my 2 cents. That's my 2 cents. But it was a good conversation, it seemed like. And I think Toya, from that conversation, you get the impression Toya's going to go to the back to school drive to meet him and everything. So we'll see how that plays out. Tiny is getting ready to open up her juice bar. I think I remember seeing her talk about the juice bar on something else. I don't know if it was the Escape thing or the T&I Tiny, the original Friends and Family Hustle. But she said she's made some better choices in her life. She's a pescatarian, which I think pescatarians don't eat seafood. I don't remember. But she's a pescatarian, so she's making healthier choices. And she said, when she was out in Atlanta, it was juice bars all over the place. And when she came back, when she was in LA, excuse me. So when she came back to Atlanta, she just wanted to bring some of that and give people just healthier choices and healthier options. And, she was like, it just was something that was missing. And she thought that it would be a good thing. So we see where she's going to open up the juice bar. So they go and visit. Now, this is what I ain't understand. She ain't seem to be too familiar with some of the more healthier things. Like, they took a ginger shot, and all of them act like it was the nastiest thing they ever had. But you ain't never had a ginger shot before. It ain't pleasant. It's good for you, but it ain't pleasant. But it looked nice. It looked like she has the drinks all named after her children and other people in her family, and it looks nice. I hope it does well. I don't know whatever happened with that nail shop. I think it burned down, so I hope this one does better for you, baby. And it's a good idea. It's a really nice concept, a really great idea. We see LaToya and her husband going to see the OBGYN. Remember, they had that scare. So she's just going to just make sure everything is okay. She wants to just be able to woosah and just be cool with, where they are. And Tommy, I ain't figured out yet whether Tommy is country or Tommy ain't too bright. Some of the questions he's asked as the show has gone on are just interesting to me. And I hate to say that because I like Tommy and I think Tommy's a cool guy, but he talking about where does the baby come out of, and the vagina look like a colon. Like the first time he ever seen the diagram of vagina. Now, again, these are not things that I would necessarily automatically put somebody in the pile of not that bright, but it's just the way the questions he was asking and the way he was asking them was just very interesting. I was just like, okay, Tommy. And then he said that we don't need no birth control, and LaToya was like, what you mean? Like, she said, you want to go back to back? He said, mm-hmm. He said, look, ain't either one of us getting no younger. I ain't trying to be 60 years old chasing after my son, so we need to go on and keep it going. Go on and just go on have this next one. Let it be a boy. Hopefully it'll be a boy. And we can go and do our thing. She said, nah, bruh. Like, I want to have this one healthy. And let's see where we are. And then we'll figure out the rest later. But I ain't trying to rush into that. He said, He said, when them six weeks is up, I'm going in strong. Like a sprinter. I cracked up. I said, you better go ahead, Tommy. Talking about, you better let her know how it's about to go down. So if I was you better pop them pills on the side if that's what you want to do. Because he done already told you what his intentions are. That he intends to go in strong. Like a sprinter. Okay, Mr. Tommy. So, Trap Museum. I went back and forth with this Trap Museum. So we see remember last week they had to push it back because everything wasn't there and all of that. So we see where they're getting ready to open up the Trap Museum. Usher comes through and Tip sort of walks him through the museum. And as he was, because sometimes I just feel like the old lady on the porch, right? You know what I mean? Because I remember growing up in the 80s and people not understanding that rap and that the whole culture of rap, they wasn't even calling it hip hop then, it was rap. And that the culture of rap, people just didn't understand it. And that it wasn't glorifying ghetto life and it wasn't glorifying living in the hood. It was explaining. It was telling people's story. That what was so authentic about rap was that this is what people were really living with, and it was just a reflection of what society didn't want to accept. Like, I remember all of that. I remember those conversations. I remember those arguments. I remember me trying to explain it to my mom, right? That's how I felt with this whole Trap Museum thing. Like, for a minute, it took me a minute. I was like, why are we glorifying this trap music? Why are they showing drugs all over the place and guns? Like, as they're going through the museum, they're showing a trap house. It's a trap house. And if you know what a trap house is, it's a damn drug house. You know what I mean? It's where you go to buy your drugs and use your drugs and live. And it's a trap house. It's what it is. And although I've always loved T.I.'s music, I don't love all quote-unquote trap music. It's not where it is today. It's not for me. You know what I mean? It's just not my age group. And that's not to say people in my age group don't enjoy, because I like some songs. It's just not my thing. Like, I ain't gonna listen to a Future album from beginning to end. I'm just not gonna do it. I might listen to one or two songs from a Future album, but it ain't gonna be no bumping it from here to there, And so I went back and forth with it, but as I listened to T.I. go through his explanation on what it was and why he did it and what he was trying to create and what he was trying to give to not just his children, but to the culture, I got it. I did. I got it. I was like, okay, I get it. I get it. He said, we're not glorifying the culture. We're explaining, we're showing what it is. And again, sometimes society needs that mirror put up to it so that they can see, not to glorify what is going on, but they can see what's going on. Because see, people in the suburbs, they don't know what's going on. That famous line, that Ice Cube gives at the end of Boys in the Hood. Either they don't know, they don't show, or they don't care about what's going on in the hood. And it is what it is. And that's just really what it boils down to. Like, people don't know, don't show, or they don't give a damn about what's going on. So I just felt a little different about it. You know what I mean? And so, Tip, you did a good job. You got a convert here. You got somebody that was on the other side that was like, why are we doing? I don't understand. This is stupid. Why is he building a trap museum? And then you got somebody on the other side that's like, yeah, I get it. And I ultimately feel like if we don't do for ourselves, who the fuck is going to do for us? Look how long it took them to build the National Museum of African American History on the mall. It took 20, 30 years, and I'm not exaggerating. It took forever because they had to keep raising the money because they couldn't get enough money, and they kept running out of money. And now you can't even get in that museum. It stays packed. It stays because the culture was thirsty for that. And it's not just black people, okay? It's everybody. The culture was thirsty for that. And so, Tip, I applaud you. I do. I applaud you. It took me a minute, but I applaud you. We'll get back to that because they had the grand opening, and that's how it ended. But they had the grand opening. It was well received, and they had a nice crowd. It was standing room only to the point where the ladies ended up going out back. They were talking about how packed it was. I hope it stays that way. Again, I'm still not clear whether this is just a temporary exhibit that Tip is opening for like 6 months or a year or whatever. Or this is something he's trying to keep open forever. Like, I'm not sure what the original intent was. I'm sure if it becomes popular and he's able to sustain it, he'll keep it open. But I don't know if that's what his original intent was. Another serious situation. We see where Zanique had to get her implants taken out. Nope, not her breasts. Nope, not her butt. Her eye implants. If you guys remember, a few years back, Tiny went and got the eyes. She's got those ice eyes now, those icy blue eyes. So Zanique wanted it done. So Zanique went and got it done. And they went to South Africa to have the surgery done. And what happened with Zanique's was hers ended up affecting her vision. It said something about putting pressure, and it was only on one eye. And so she got the first one removed. And if you remember, she had one blue eye and one regular eye. So she went on and had to have the second, not had to, because she didn't have to have the second surgery, but it was like, who wants to walk around with two different color eyes? Like, that's not. So we see in this episode where she is recovering from her surgery and how, it's really affected her, health-wise and everything. And they kind of gloss over how serious this was. When I read an article about it, this was affecting her health to the point where she could have died. And so, between this and the Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, where K. Michelle really went through what she went through with her implants, you guys, as someone who's, I'm just going to be real for a minute, as someone who's overweight, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that if given the resources and the opportunity, I would not have surgery, right, to help me with my weight issue. I would never say that. I don't have a problem with women who look in the mirror, or men, and they want to change things. What I say, though, is don't overdo it. Don't put yourself in jeopardy, your body in jeopardy, your health in jeopardy for cosmetic reasons. All surgery is a risk. We know that. But, you see women that get a breast augmentation, then a second, then a third. Or they get their nose done, then a second, then a third. Or, you know what I mean? Like, I'm all about feeling good about yourself and looking in the mirror and liking what you see. But I just see so many people, and we're starting to see so many with celebrities, that they have these things done and then they don't see the long-term effects until now. And like, Zanique, for something that contacts could have handled, you can just pop some contacts in and have different color eyes. Hell, I had friends in high school that had different color eyes every other day, because that's when color contacts was first coming out, and their eyes was different color every other day. They had a different contact. Their parents paid for them, and it was what it was. So I don't know, y'all. I don't know. But I'm glad she's okay. I'm glad that they were able to fix it, and that, but she could have lost her vision. She could have gone blind from what I'm reading. And it was very serious. So anyway, enough about that. But I just hope people are watching this and they're being mindful about how serious these augmentations, these surgeries can be. So then we have the juice bar grand opening, which was nice, Everybody came through, and, we finally saw Major. Remember I was saying how we hadn't seen Major all season? We finally saw Major, and he does look like he's just camera shy. I think he's just over it. He didn't look like he really wanted to be on camera too much. They tried to engage him, and he wasn't trying to feel it. I think maybe he's just at that age where he's kind of vocal about where he is, and he ain't really feeling it. And I can respect that, He's been on a camera since he was like 3 or 4 years old. Like, I can respect that he's like, look, I ain't really feeling this right now, And Major has always been a personality, you know what I mean? He's always been a very, what he wants and how he wants it and all of that. We saw Ray Janae go visit Zanique, and again, they just had more of a conversation about her surgery, but they also had a conversation about relationships and being public. And Ray Janae saying how she just regrets that, because they were outed. They didn't purposely go public. Somebody caught a picture of them together, and then it was in the shade room, and then basically they got a couple of more pictures, and at that point it was like, all right, fuck it, we together. And then I guess she embraced it at that point, like, well, I'm just gonna post us booed up, and I'm gonna post us together because it's already out there. But now she's realizing that everything she does, people just read into it. If she posts a quote, then, oh, they must be fighting because she posted this quote, or she sings a song and it's about heartbreak, and she's singing some Mary J. Blige, they must be about to break up because they do it, and so she's realizing that going public just maybe not necessary. She said, I wish I could go back, and, but unfortunately it's out there now. You done put it out there, and it is what it is. Zanika has a little boo, but she's keeping hers under wraps, and that's what, Reginae was like, I wish I could have done that. I wish I had kept mine under wraps. So then we see Toya finally meets him at the book drive, and they have a good conversation, and the book drive looked really nice. They were engaging the kids. They had relay races and a DJ, and they were interacting with the kids. Like Reginae did one of the potato sack races, and we saw Lucci dancing with the kids and stuff. It was a nice event. And I always appreciate when I see people giving back. Like, I always think that's a great thing. So that's cool. And Toya, she didn't give him too hard of a time, but Toya let it be known, look, I got my eye on your ass because I dated a rapper and I know how this shit go down, but just so you know, that's my baby and that's my heart, and I'm letting you know that I go for mine. And I ain't mad at her. That's what a mother's supposed to do. A mother's supposed to let it be known who she is and how hard she gonna ride for her kids. That's what you're supposed to do. So Toya, you did that. Then we saw last week, it might have been, I'm not sure if it was last episode or the episode after that, before that, excuse me. LaToya and her mom have an interesting relationship because LaToya's mom is also her manager. And when LaToya told her mother that she was pregnant, her mother's response was not what LaToya expected and or wanted. She was disappointed in her mom's response and hadn't really spoken to her mom. She said her mother's response was sort of like like her mom responded as a manager, not as a mother. And she was disappointed in that. So, Tommy decided that, because when they were at the doctor, it came up that she hadn't really talked to her mom. And, she kind of really wanted to talk to her. And she thought it was time that she brought her mom into the pregnancy, because they were talking about bringing their stepdaughter, Madison, her bonus baby, to the next sonogram and letting her be a part of that. And so Tommy ended up flying her mom in and surprising LaToya. And they were able to sit down and have a conversation. And what I gathered from the conversation was her mom, because her mother was still kind of giving me, like when she saw Toya, she was just like, oh, look at, somebody want to say something, but then they catch themselves. She was like, oh, look at you, you so, like she was getting ready to say you so big, but then realized maybe that ain't the right word. And, it seemed like a couple of times she got ready to say something and maybe realized that she wasn't getting ready to say the right thing, so she sort of stopped. But they were able to have a good conversation, and Toya was able to let her know, look, I was kind of hurt by your reaction because I want you to always be mommy first, manager second. She said, and I dreaded calling you like I dreaded calling my agent. Like, you were on the same level as my agent, and it shouldn't have been. Like, the phone call to you should have been easy, And her mom was like, and she apologized, and she was like, I am excited and I am happy, but I've been doing this a long time. Like I've been in charge of your career for a long time, and so sometimes it's hard sometimes to switch it off, But they did have a good conversation, and I do think that mom is going to be more active in the pregnancy and more active in what's going on. And so that was good to see, because, again, she just wasn't sure what she was going to get from her mom. And she told her, she said, I don't want us to talk about business when the baby's around. I want it to be mommy, grandma, just, that. I don't want it to be any business talk, because I want us to just keep them separate. And when we're with that baby, when the baby gets here, it's just us. It's grandma, mommy, baby. It's not business, So it was good. It was good. So that was pretty much how I went down this week. Y'all let me know what y'all think in them comments. Drop them.